Welcome back, everyone, to Making It in the Live Entertainment Industry with Elijah Wolff, with your host, Elijah Wolff. And today we have another great episode, but before we get into it, can you guys please give us a rating if it's not too much of an inconvenience, either on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you are. That helps us out tremendously. And we have one quick thing before we get in, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Once again, it's a great one, like always. And I'll take you guys soon. Bye-bye. Welcome, everyone, to today's episode. And today, I actually want to be talking about a little thing I use almost every single day that I am away from a soundboard. I do mostly sound, like I said, in the entertainment industry. Mostly sound. I do some graphics here and there. I do a little bit of lighting, not a whole bunch, very little. But it's called SM2, which is Studio Manager 2 for any Yamaha board, basically. Any board it's an offline editor for the board that you can run on your computer. And I use this almost every single day if I'm not on the board, because I can do, so what I do, basically, let me explain what I do first on how I like to set up my board, because I know everybody likes to do their different things, but what I like to do in Yamaha's boards, you have different scenes, right? So you can do up to 9, how many scenes can you do? 300 scenes. Starting at 0, which is your initial data, so basically you have 299 scenes. That's the way I look at it. 290 scenes, which is plenty enough for what I do. I usually run maybe, what was my last one, 40-something was my last amount of scenes I had. It was for South Pacific, the musical. Musicals are a lot more than plays and stuff like that, but you get the point. I used scenes to basically map out if there's a full company number and I want to keep a certain type of mix for something. I save it as a scene, label it, I just recall it, have my same mix, stuff like that. As long as they're consistent, it works out great. If they're not consistent, it gets a little blurry, but I just make sure everyone knows that this is what I'm doing. It'll be consistent, give me consistency every single time you sing. Make life easier. I don't care how you sing, just make it consistent. That's what I tell them. Usually works out pretty well, sometimes not. Some people listen better than others, stuff like that. But for the most part, that's how I run it. And I do as many scenes as I need. Like, if I need to have a whole bunch of mics are changing back and forth from different people, because we don't have enough, we have 20 mics usually. Is like, I try to limit it off at 20 mics, but we can go up to like 30, 32, I think, is the most I would like to have at any given time. But if they're changing around people, the levels are different, the mic placements are different, so I usually make a new scene every time people are switching mics and then go on stage, just so when I recall it, it's to their EQ, their level, their whatever they need to be for that person. So that's why I stack up so many scenes usually. But also another great thing about this program is you have control over everything you need to. So like, I can get to any EQ, I can get to any level, I can get to any thing I need to. Like, all the card slots, like we have an M7CL, so we have 3 card slots. We have 2 Dante and an Aviom card. So we have 32 channels Dante in and out, and an Aviom card for the band, or the orchestra, whatever you call them, the pit, whatever. So we send out there. So basically what I utilize is 32 channels out mostly. I can take them in. I do take them in mostly because of mics. I use 20, taking them in. All our mics are on Dante. Very nice to have. No crackling anything. It's great. We don't have a Dante snake for the pit or the orchestra. Unfortunately, not yet. We're getting there. So it's all analog still. But that's how I use it. So like, I can map out my different. So like, channel card 1, card 1 and card 2 are Dante, card 3 is Aviom. So like, I can go into the board, the virtual offline board, click card 1, slot 1, and tell it where I want to go. So like, card 1, slot 1 is mic 1. Card 1, slot 2 is mic 2. So on and so on and so on until I get to card 2, slot 1, which is 17, 18, 19, 20, so on and so on. So that's how I like to set up my board. But then you can also patch your stuff into your actual channels. Like, channel 1 is card 1, slot 1. Channel 2 is card 1, slot 2. Then what do? I do 33. I think I start on mine. 33 is 17, and then following 33 is 17, mic 17. Channel 34 is mic 18, mic 19, mic 20, so on and so on. So it's just all down on the same row. If you've ever seen one of those boards, they're all down on the same row. And then I like my top rows to be band. I usually do drums, keys, percussion, or the rest of the percussion. Like, if there's aux percussion or whatever, then I go brass, wind. stuff like that. That's how I set up my board because that's how I do it, and that's consistency. So I know every single time I do my AVM list every single time, same thing if I can, just so the band gets used to how I work and how I run things, stuff like that. So everything is just a nice flow for everyone to have, which is always a good thing to have, especially when you're working on deadlines and stuff like that, and you don't have as much time as you want. Just being able to know what's wrong, what's the difference, what we want to fix, what we don't. And then I would say actually almost I use it almost every day, just because then I also have a MIDI cord that I can use MIDI to USB, hook into the board, and this gives me an extra screen that I can do mixes off. So I usually keep my band on my computer, like my band mixes. So I have, sorry, I forgot the channel numbers, 17 through 32 on the top, or on my computer usually. So that's how many I can hold in on my screen. It's a 15-inch MacBook Pro, so that's how much I can hold and basically tell and adjust things on the fly when I need to, so I don't have to keep going to different. If you ever used it, you know what I mean. It just makes it so much easier, so I don't have to click through 1 through 16 or 1 through 8, 9 through 16 on the board and EQ and stuff. I can just EQ it through my computer, talk to the board. Everything's nice, everything's simple and sweet like that. That's one of my favorite things. But then also I have Dante controller and stuff like that, which I have in the background just in case I need to repatch things somewhere, somehow something gets undone, stuff like that. But then my favorite thing I can do ever is I can, on the offline thing, of course, I mean, you can do all this on it's just basically just a board, but offline. That's all it is. If you were questioning what that is, SM2 is just a board, an offline board that you can edit, and then I can save it to a jump drive, change it on the board. I need to just plug it in, reload it, stuff like that. That's what it is pretty much. Sorry if I didn't give a definition of what it is, but that's what it is. And if you have, multi-track. Sorry, I was talking about multi-track recording with Dante. So like I said, we have 32 channels out. 32 channels in and out through Dante. So I can send as many channels as I want pretty much, because my mics, 1 through 20, are not going into the board. Or sorry, not going into the board, so they don't come out of the board. They just they're going into the board, coming into the board through Dante controller, but that doesn't use an actual number going out, because I can just reroute them through Dante controller into my recording software, which I use Logic Pro X on the Mac, and I just have virtual sound card on here, and just pop record. Makes everything easy, line it up with the video, nice and easy, stuff like that. But I can change to whatever I want. I can do my mixes out. I can do whatever I want. I have 32 channels to play, which is plenty enough, because 48 minus 20 is 28. So we have 28 channels. So I have all my channels plus the stereos sending out multi-track. So if I use them, great. If I don't, I don't. I just record all 32 channels plus my 4. I just do a 64 by 64 recording in Logic pretty much is all I do. Just going off the sound card. And I just send all my feeds going to whatever computer I'm recording to. Either that's a Mac Pro, MacBook Pro, something like that. So I send it to, press record, everything's simple, lines up with the audio post, and it sounds amazing. And then I can also adjust levels at post. So if someone's too loud and the mix I didn't correct in the mix on the send feed to our camera operators and stuff like that to our recording studio, I can do a post, and instead of using their audio, we just use mine, which is very nice, because then everything works out flawlessly pretty much, almost flawlessly I would say. And that's pretty much how I use my board. Then I just save it to a jump drive, like I said, load onto a board, and you can do this with any board from Yamaha. They all have stuff like what is it called? We use the smaller one that has 32 channels with the 2 layers of 16. It's the OV196 or something like that. It's something like that. I forgot exactly what it's called, but it's digital. That's what we use in our recording studio. And it has Dante cards, so we just plug it in. Simple like that. So, but I have it for all the CL5, CL3, CL7s. They have it for everything that you can think of, any Yamaha board. And it's just super simple. That's why I like using Yamaha. That's where we use it at my school, so that's what I'm using right now. I'm guessing there's different stuff offline softwares for like the Advid and Allen and Heath and the Hodgepodge, stuff like that. I'm guessing there is. So it's kind of like the same. I don't know the functionality. Like I said, I don't use them, but that's how I use SM2 for my basis, and using through it MIDI, doing live shows or doing offline and just prepping for shows. That's how I use it. And if you guys have any questions, like again, just DM me at Elijah Wolff on Instagram. That's ElijahWolff at Instagram, or on Instagram, or on Twitter. Or on Twitter is not it. I'll leave it in the link. But thank you guys for listening, and have a great day. One quick thing before we go. Thank you guys for listening to this episode. And before I give you away to whatever the rest of your day holds, if you guys could, once again, if you haven't already, please rate us. It helps us out so much being listed on the charts and whatever you want to call them, but it just helps us a whole bunch. And if you did enjoy, please come back soon. There will be another one, and I hope you guys have the wonderful rest of your day or morning or whatever time to listen to this. It's up to you. So thank you guys for listening, and always have a great one.